Hey everybody, I'm Honda Pro Jason, and I'm standing in front of the newly redesigned and heavily updated 2019 Honda Pilot. Let's check this thing out. I'm going to show you guys inside, outside, all the tips, tricks, all the cool stuff. So let's get into it. Starting in the front, this is a whole new grille from side to side. Check this out. This whole new grille right down here has a beautiful little honeycomb section on the bottom. This part here, this is the Elite. This is normally chrome, but there's an accessory black kit that goes on it. Honda Sensing, check this out. Honda Sensing is standard, LX and above. So every single Pilot gets Honda Sensing, which is amazing. Has a sensor inside hidden behind the Honda H and a camera up on top that's going to read the road. That's pretty awesome. And now also every Honda Pilot is also going to get LED lighting up front. Check this out. LED high beams, low beams, daytime running lights, turn signals, and because this car is an Elite, it has fog lights, LED fog lights. Brand new skid pad on the bottom. Coming around to the side, all new style 20-inch rims. And if you notice this orange here, and you probably notice a little bit of orange up here on the hood, this is a new graphic package that's available at Honda dealerships. It's not just orange, they do make other colors, but you can get it at any Honda dealership. Coming around to the side, these mirrors, as always, they fold forward, they fold backward, but now if someone has your brights on behind you, the mirrors actually tint and they're foldable. Press a button, they fold in. How cool is that? Coming around to the side, let me show you a couple things here. This is neat. This gas door, check this out, I'm gonna show you a neat little tip and trick. There's a button here that you press to open the gas door. Everyone knows that's not the tip and trick. The tip and trick is what happens if something happens to that button. What happens if you lose power, you need to put gas in the car. This gives me a perfect opportunity to show you guys the hands-free tailgate. Check this out. No hands. Step back, this tailgate automatically opens up. You take the key, you separate the key from the key fob. You can use this as a tool. Inside this thing right here, you open this up, this little panel, and you do have a gas filler just in case you do run out of gas, you need to fill it with a gas can, but that's not what I want to show you. I'm going to show you this trigger inside here. When you pull on this trigger with your fingers, it opens up the gas door manually. Cool, huh? Now those are just a couple of the features on the outside that have changed, but the big changes, the real big changes, are on the inside. Let's check those out. Inside the new Pilot is a lot of the features we just got in the new Odyssey, which is amazing. So if you take a look at the screen over here, the screen is going to look very similar to the new Odyssey. You want to move anything around, you just simply take your finger, you press it, and you drag it right over to where you want to drop it. You drop it and moves everything right around, which is amazing. Also, we have an AT&T hotspot, which is outstanding. So this actually is a 4G LTE hotspot. All you have to do is press the button, turn the power on, and you got AT&T hotspot. Once you get the car, it's going to be 3 months free, and then it's $25 a month for unlimited use if you'd like to use that. And now that we have the hotspot, we also have things like cabin control, which is an app on your phone that you can control from anywhere inside the car, the radio, the navigation, a whole bunch of different stuff from your app, which is pretty cool. We also have cabin talk, which means now from the front seat, there's a little microphone right up here. And what you do is you just speak clearly and people all the way in the back can hear you, even if they have headphones on, it goes through your headphones. That's pretty cool. There's a lot of new features, Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, a lot of stuff we didn't have before. And now with all these new features like 4G LTE, we also have Honda Link Assist. So a simple press of this button, what this will do is this will be contacting emergency services.
Honda Link, my name is Gaten. We received an SOS signal from your vehicle. Is everything okay?
Yes, Hayden. I'm actually showing a couple clients how the system works. Can you tell me a little bit about the car we're in and where we're located, please?
Yeah, I got a 2019 Honda Pilot, white in color, and a location of 1050 Patero Road in Westlake.
Excellent. Thank you so much for your help today.
No problem. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Cool, right? So emergency services knows the exact car you're in, the color you're in, and where you're located. That's pretty awesome. Now, under the hood, Honda kept everything pretty much the same, except for the transmission. Hardware and software greatly improved, and hardware and software greatly improved, and idle stop is improved. All these things are great, right? A lot of cool tech features, and it makes the vehicle much nicer, but it's an SUV, so it really should have some off-road capabilities, right? Let's go check those out now. So that was the outside. The inside, and a couple tips and tricks, but this is an SUV. Should be able to go off-road, right? And Honda hasn't really talked about too much of the off-road capabilities before. So I grabbed Justin, the product planner, to tell us some more. Justin, how are you, brother?
Doing well, Jason.
Awesome. So before we go on this drive, tell me a little bit about how capable the system is, a little bit about the drive modes, torque vectoring, stuff like that.
Right, so the Honda Pilot has what we call an IVTM4 all-wheel drive system. So that stands for Intelligent Torque Management. And essentially this is a fully torque vectoring system. So we can send up to 70% of the torque to the rear wheels, and then 100% of that can be sent either to the left or the right side of the vehicle. A lot of our competitors, they'll advertise torque vectoring, but what they're doing is actually a brake assist torque vectoring. So when one of the wheels starts to slip, they'll use the brake to slow that down. The benefit of this system is that we can actually send more torque to the wheel that's got traction, so you can really get moved through the situation with a lot better performance.
Very nice. And then there's same four drive modes as last year.
That's right.
So we have normal is normal.
Right, normal, we've got snow, mud, and sand. So essentially, this is a smart system, so it's constantly looking at the different parameters and optimizing the system for the best performance you're in. But if you select one of those different traction management modes, essentially gives the system a heads up and lets it know what kind of terrain you're on, so it can default to the settings that are optimal for that type of situation.
That sounds great. Justin, back up for 1 second. I'm gonna do one quick thing before we drive, just to make sure everyone knows the driver is HPJ. Now let's drive. Okay.
All right.
So we heard about what this thing can do. Now I'm interested to actually feel and experience it. Because I've driven these cars 1,000 times.
Sure.
But never ever on a course like this.
All right.
So this is going to be totally insane, and I am super, super excited to see what this thing's going to do.
That's great. Well, let's start off by seeing what mode we're in the intelligent traction management. So let's go back to normal mode to start with.
Got it.
So we got a feel right off the bat for what the system's going to do to compensate for any wheel slip or loss of traction you have. Okay. So as we drive around, we'll go through the modes, and you can then get a feel for what each mode is going to do, so that you can see how the traction management system increases, traction control is going to increase, and the rear lock and disc will work. Cool?
I can't wait. Okay.
Off we go.
Awesome.
Now around this first section here, there is this kind of an arced turn, and we want to start off on the right side of that. So just kind of straight through here. Yeah, and we'll start off on the right side of see the mound?
Yeah, like
we're
here?
essentially going to drive straight across the mound and cross over to the other side. So just slightly to your left. And then we'll keep the wheels nice and straight through this section. We're literally going to go straight all the way as we come
through that big mountain.
Nice and slow. And as you just give it just a little bit of throttle, the traction control is going to kick in.
Oh, I can see it right there.
Yep, right around between 12 and 1500 RPM, the system's the most active. Perfect. Now hard right.
I could feel us like teetering.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was cool.
Over here to the rocks. Now, these are simulated logs, right? So we got a little bit of a bumpy road. Notice how the suspension, as you come through these, is compensating and not bottoming out. In most SUVs, you'd feel the vehicle kind of bump, bottoming out. Through this section.
You don't hear the struts or anything hitting anything. It's quiet.
So two options here.
Okay.
The road most traveled is the 20-degree slope. The road less traveled is around the back. It's about a 30-degree slope. So let's
I want the hardcore one.
Yeah, let's head around to the right.
Get me the most hardcore. So it's around back here?
Yep, and then you can get your tires up on the mountain here. Anytime you're on a side hill, you want to go as slow as you possibly can.
Okay.
So we'll ease up onto the side hill. Now, most people think that SUVs are inherently top-heavy, and this angle clearly shows you that at 30 degrees, this SUV
we're like this, bro. Like we're
incredibly
that is
stable.
Insane.
Isn't that great?
That is awesome. Wow.
Good stability.
This is like
even shake the car a little bit, not even feel anything. Super stable at 30 degrees. So
Tim, this is awesome, brother. Like this is like wow. And this is 30 degrees going. So I don't know if you can tell from this camera, but we're up like this 30-degree angle. It's nuts. That's cool. And are we just cutting back this way?
That's it. Yeah, as you swing around to the left, your windshield's gonna start to fill up with sand.
Okay.
So the idea with the traction management system, again, is to look outside the window and see what type of stuff you're driving on. By selecting the sand mode here, the vehicle's going to adapt to appropriately drive through the sand.
Sand gives me the least amount of traction control, so I can spin, right?
So
And the most power.
sand's going to give you a pretty even distribution of power front to rear,
Okay.
and it's going to increase traction control, although it's going to allow you to spin at higher RPM so that you can throw some of the sand. So as you drive through here, actually, you know what? Drive in and slam on the brakes. Let's dig a little bit of a hole. All right, slam on the brake. Perfect. Now we're starting from a situation that's terrible in sand, right? Now we're
Right, we're
starting from a condition where we've got to work to get out.
Oh yeah.
The idea with sand is you want to get to the top of the surface as fast as you can,
Okay.
and you want to stay on top of it. So as you accelerate now, the vehicle's going to have a pretty steady throttle map that increases pretty dramatically, so you get to the top of that surface and stay on top.
Okay, so you just want me to gun it out of here?
Yeah, give it a little bit of gas and roll on.
It was like nothing. Love it.
Didn't even mind it.
Didn't even nothing. It wasn't like whoa, 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 whoa. It was just like instant out.
Yep.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Up and around.
Yeah, up pretty good.
Cool.
Set a new high mark up there. Try not to hit any poles.
There was,
but-
oh, don't hit the poles.
Yeah, don't hit the poles. Now, as we head through this section, we're going to leave it in sand because the sand mode, again, is the most active with traction control. So if you keep your tires on the right side here, we actually drop into this hole with the front left tire into the bottom of the V.
Okay.
And
So like this.
yep, just like this, we're going to get the back right tire off the ground as we roll in. So the back tire's off the ground now, a little further, a little further.
Whoa.
And as we exit this, watch your throttle here. You want to be nice and steady on the throttle because that traction control, again, is happiest between 1200 and 1500 RPMs. That's the sweet spot. Right to the bottom of this one as well. All right, one more little go. Now this is the big wheel. So real steady here. Perfect. Crawls right through it.
That's cool.
Isn't that cool?
I mean, I wouldn't use the Pilot as a rock crawler, but man, it can handle, I mean, it handles all this stuff way more than anyone's ever going to use, which is amazing. It's super capable. Should I cut around this way?
Right around the outside here, we're actually going to head
Oh, around
into, you mentioned rocks, and
Yeah.
you're not going to rock crawl with it, but we're going to rock crawl with it now.
Are you serious?
Yeah, so we're going to take the Pilot through the rock section,
Oh,
and
wow. Okay.
the
let's do it.
beauty of this section is with a smooth throttle application, we can walk right through here. The vehicle's got almost 8 inches of ground clearance. Now the faster we go, slower, 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 the faster we go through, the more likely we are to bottom out. There you go.
That's cool. This course, this is just flat. You guys built this.
Correct, yep.
I can't imagine. So did you just, I'm assuming that you just kept building it crazier and crazier until you're like, okay, we need to back it off a little bit.
Yeah, so anytime we build a course like this to showcase a vehicle, we obviously want to highlight the traction capabilities of the
Sure.
vehicle. You ultimately reach a threshold of ground clearance or a limitation in the vehicle. I was impressed as I built the course, the further along we went, we were able to go to a pretty aggressive standard to get the vehicle through here. Now, arguably, most people aren't going to take a Pilot and go do something like this, but the reality is that if it can do this course over and over and over,
It can do anything.
it's really going to do anything that your average customer is going to do with it in their camping trip or their trip to the mountains to go see, go to their cabin in the snow.
Love it. Oh my gosh. Okay, the hill climb.
Yep.
Oh boy.
So now, most people want to just drive up to the top of the hill. I want to encourage you to stop on the steepest part of the hill. So drive up to the steepest part.
What mode should I be in right now?
Yeah, so let's take a look. We're in sand, so either mud or sand have a prolonged hill hold. So
Okay, let's
either
keep
one
it
of
in
those
sand.
are fine. So let's drive up to
So
that
we're gonna
steepest
head
point.
up this massive hill here.
Yep.
I'm gonna drive up and I'm gonna
All you're going to
stop
see is sky for a second. So we'll put the big flags up there.
right about here's good.
Perfect.
And just hit the brakes.
Hold the brake, yep. Now, while you're on the brake,
Nice and
collecting
relaxing.
yourself, relaxed in your seat position.
This angle, I mean, it feels like.
Let's actually see what it is.
Oh, you can look.
Yeah, I got a little inclinometer here. So let's pull out the inclinometer app.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with. I don't know.
What's your best guess?
So 90 is straight up and down, right?
90 straight up and down.
So I'm gonna say a solid 45.
All right, I've got 42 right there.
Hey, a solid 45 from some guy that doesn't know nothing is pretty good. So we're at 42 degrees. 43 degrees right now. This is like, I seriously feel like if someone were to lift the front, we could tumble. Like, it's that much of an angle. Okay, foot's on the brake. Now what you want me to do is release it. We're gonna hold for about 5 seconds or so.
Yeah, so
and then we go forward.
Think about what you would do. You naturally take your foot off the brake and go to the gas pedal, and in that time, without hill hold, the vehicle would roll backwards.
For sure.
If we waited too long, the vehicle would kind of get to the end of where it's holding the brakes and go backwards. But when you get to the gas pedal and start to apply the gas, we release the brake pedal, we release the brake pressure from the calipers, and then you start to move. So the second that you get to the gas pedal, it's going to start to release that, and
that's pretty awesome.
Off. Yeah.
And you said it's 5 seconds.
It is 5 seconds. It's about.
Okay.
If I was going to be specific, I'd say like 4.5.
Okay. So I'm going to take my foot off. I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, and hit the gas.
Sure.
You ready?
Yep.
You guys ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3.
It just crawls right up. Notice the intelligent traction management screen too.
I like that a lot.
So when you go to climb out of this next hill,
yeah,
you'll see that light up. Killing cones out there. That was a great shot.
Crazy. Okay, so you want to do the same thing and stop down here somewhere?
You can stop actually right here and go to reverse because the hill hold works in reverse. So shift to reverse. You get the same 5 seconds. So do your 1, 2, 3 count, and then get back on the gas, and you'll be impressed to see how it backs back up the hill.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Get out of here. That is awesome. Oh my God. It just, nothing spin, just went right up the hill.
Mm-hmm.
That's cool.
Didn't miss a beat. Let's go back into drive and we'll cruise down. Now in sand and mud, our vehicle stability assist is pulled back to give us a little more freedom. And,
sure.
And in both of those situations, you might find yourself in a condition where you're hard on the throttle and you're giving it steering input. And in those conditions, the vehicle's going to say, nope, stability control's going to shut you down. You're doing you're asking for too much.
Of course.
So the stability system's going to limit you. In this case, with it in sand, we're going to have a little more freedom. So as you zip around the corner here, you'll have the ability to, if you're smooth on the controls, you'll have the ability to give it a little zip.
Can I zip through in sport mode?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, if you want to go to sport mode and even use the paddles. So
yeah, but let's not get crazy, Tim.
Let's not go crazy.
Let's not go crazy, but at least through. So you just want me to kind of whip around this little
out
corner
there,
right here? Cool. Let's see how this does here.
You get a little looseness there as you come around.
That's cool. Yeah, that was neat. That's very cool. And you're right. Normally, when you gave it gas, the car would go and slow down.
You'll feel it. You feel it, especially in a corner.
Sure.
And if you think of the logic of the system, it's looking at the yaw rate sensor, it's looking at steering input, and it's looking at how much gas you're giving it. It's also looking at wheel speed. So if all of those get to a threshold, the stability system says you have to be sliding. You can't be doing all of these things at the same time. By giving you a little more freedom with it in sand mode, you can actually loosen the car up a little bit and get some of those things without it limiting.
And speaking of limiting, that's the other thing we talked about is that we have one of the only systems that it doesn't put braking on one of the corner brakes. It actually gets power to the other. So we do, it's 100% side to side or up to 70 to the rear, right?
Yeah, so when you talk about the differential in the rear of the car, traditional rear differential is a gear-driven device, and mechanical systems are lazy. So when you get into a ditch, one tire is going to spin, and most manufacturers are going to use a brake to control that power and stop the wheel that doesn't have grip to give power to the other side. With this system, we have the ability to limit that wheel spin by seeing the wheel speed. We can engage the clutch on the opposite side of the vehicle and make the wheel on the right side of the vehicle turn. So there's essentially a clutch pack on the right and a clutch pack on the left of the differential. And that's what distributes the power from side to side. So from a torque vectoring perspective, we're driving the vehicle from a straight line with the steering wheel straight, where we can send equal power side to side. But if you turn the wheel to the left all the way and put the vehicle, hold your foot on the brake, we'll put the vehicle into drive, give it a little left foot brake and gas at the same time, and you'll see the scale, right, left and right. Now, depending on what situation you're in, The system has the ability to give all the power to the left rear wheel or all the power to the right rear wheel based on the input from it. So if it saw the wheel spinning and no grip, it would limit the power to the left side because it doesn't have grip and give all that power to the right.
That's awesome. Hey, thank you, brother. I appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So I showed you guys all the cool stuff on the outside of the Pilot, showed you all the stuff on the inside of the Pilot, and we went for a test drive in the most craziest environment ever. Hope you guys learned something. Hope you guys love this video. And as always, this time from sunny California, I'm the Honda Pro, and now you're in the know.